Anybody feel God this morning?
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah,
God's
God.
presence, feel his power, feel him doing something. And we just want to thank God for that moment. Amen. I came to give you a motivational moment. I want to share with you something that the Lord put in me in Mark chapter 5, verse 35. And I'm going to be reading something to you from the amplified version of this as I give you your motivational moment. I pray that you have an ear to hear what God is speaking to you in this moment. In Mark chapter 5, verse 35, it says, while he was still speaking, there came some from the ruler's house who said to Jairus, your daughter has died. Why, brother? Why bother and distress the teacher any further? Overhearing but ignoring what they said. I'm going to say that again. Overhearing but ignoring what they said, Jesus said to the ruler of the synagogue, do not be seized with alarm and struck with fear. Only keep on believing. Say that one again. Only keep on believing. And he permitted no one to accompany him except Peter and James and John, the brother of James. When they arrived at the house of the ruler of the synagogue, he looked carefully and with understanding at the tumult and the people weeping and wailing loudly. And when he had gone in, he said to them, why do you make an uproar and weep? The little girl is not dead, but is sleeping. As I was preparing and meditating on this moment this morning, the Lord wanted me to say something to you. We see the situation with Jairus' daughter being dead, and everybody talking about it. Jairus' daughter represents a seed. Amen. His seed. And somebody comes along and says, hey man, your seed is dead. Jesus heard what they said, but the word said that he heard it, but he ignored it. I came to tell you this morning that whatever the seed that is on the inside of you, that God put on the inside of you, God said, no matter what it looks like, no matter what's in your ear, no matter what it seems like, God said you hear it, but ignore it. Amen. When that spirit of fear creeps in, when insecurity creeps in, when you see your seed in the bank account is getting low, when you see your seed getting negative, God said hear it, but ignore it, because guess what? It's in a sleep state. Wow. It's in a sleep state. Sleep means dormant. It's just inactive. It's just dormant. But watch this. When you allow that seed, watch this, your seed, to stay asleep. I told y'all the last time, that's when God has a problem, because God does not want your seed to stay asleep. He does not want your seed to stay dead. But you got to look at your seed and you got to say, okay, I see what's going on. I hear what's going on, but I'm going to command my seed. Jesus began to command Jairus' seed. He said, Talitha Kumi. That means, daughter, arise. You got to look at what you're believing God for in this season and speak a word. Talitha Kumi. Arise in the name of Jesus. He said, don't you allow your seed to go to the wayside. Don't you allow your seed to fall dead. And for many of us, that's a seed that's in your house. That's a seed that's in your finances. That's a seed that's in your relationships. That's a seed and something that you're believing God for. He said you got to begin to speak to the seed. Talitha Kumi, arise now.
Yeah. That's good.
And there are some seeds that are not your seed. It's a seed of the devil. And God said you got to recognize your seed from the seed of the devil. And that's the seed that you want to stay dead. Attitude, stay dead. Frustration, stay dead. Lack, stay dead. Insecurity, stay dead. He said now in this season you got to understand what's your seed and what's the devil's seed. And whatever is your seed, you got to tell it to arise. Whatever is the devil's seed, you got to tell it to stay dead. Because there are some things that are going to come to hinder your seed. There are some things that are going to come to try to stop your breakthrough. And And if you continue to allow that dead seed to stay alive, because it's supposed to be dead, God said, now I got a problem.
Yeah, now we got it.
That's good. Now we got a problem.
But if your seed stay dead, God got a problem. Because God wants you to realize the power that you have. He wants you to realize the power that's on the inside of you. We speak this thing so haphazardly, speaking and declaring, decree a thing. But then we forget that the part that says believe by faith.
Yeah.
That it is. So you can be speaking all day long, but I believe that if Jesus spoke Talitha Kumi and had no faith, then Jairus' daughter would have still stayed dead.
Okay.
But because he had faith to go with the speaking,
Yeah.
come on somebody, she couldn't stay in that dead place.
That's good.
You got to have faith to go with what you're speaking. Because what you're speaking to something that is negative. You're speaking to something that is dark. You might even be speaking to something that isn't even in existence yet. But by faith, you have belief that it can come into existence. Because faith is the substance of things hoped for. The evidence of things you can't even see. So if you can see it, you ain't got to faith it to get it. Because you already got it. God said you got to have faith for the unseen. You got to speak to the unseen. You got to speak to that moment in your life where you're believing God for something so supernatural and so divine that it will scare some folk that if it come in a manifestation, they ain't going to know that what hit you.
That's good.
Come on.
God said you got to see the unseen. I don't care what it look like, sound like, or seem like. Your seed ain't dead. All you got to do is open up your mouth, open up your mind, open up your heart to believe by faith that for real, nothing is impossible with God.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
So how long are you going to let your seed stay dead before you say Talitha Kumi?
Yeah.
How long are you going to let your life stay dead before you say Talitha Kumi? How long are you going to let a situation stay dead before you say Talitha Kumi and really believe it?
Yeah.
That this thing can rise up. But the seed that is of the devil, let it stay dead.
Wow.
Don't speak to it unless you're speaking death. Speak death to every dead situation.
Every dead situation.
But speak life to everything that you know God promised you. That you know God got for you. That you know God is with you. You got to speak life. Anybody got a Talitha Kumi in your mouth?
Yes, God.
Come on, somebody. I don't think y'all get this thing. Because what God is about to do in this season is going to require your Talitha Kumi. I don't care what it sounds like right now. I don't care what it seems like. Your Talitha Kumi got to come out for the manifestation. Because when your Talitha Kumi come out, your faith come out.
Yeah. Come on.
And God can provide the breakthrough that He promised. He said this last part of the year is going to provide breakthrough after breakthrough. I don't care if it don't look like your breakthrough right now. I know what God has said. I know what God has promised. And if you don't begin to speak your Talitha Kumi, you just might miss out on it. People can't speak for you. People can't activate your faith for you. It's got to be something in you that says, God, I want my more. I need my more. I require my more. I command my more. I desire my more. Talitha Kumi. Amen.
Amen.
Have you guys been blessed by that word?
Amen.
Let it minister to you.
Yes, God.
Let it minister to you. I'm telling y'all. We're on the verge of something amazing.
Yes, Lord.
And sometimes the enemy will creep in with attitudes, with frustrations, with foolishness. And we sitting there looking at him do it. And God said, no, but I promised you this and I promised you that. But if you keep letting the little distractions get in the way, you just might miss the prophetic utterance that came.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Go hug somebody and say Talitha Kumi. Come on and welcome folk to church this morning. And say Talitha Kumi. Your seed is rising up in this hour. Come on and say Talitha Kumi. Your seed is rising up. Come on somebody. Your seed is rising up. Your seed is rising up. Y'all gotta say it like you mean it. Your seed is rising up in this hour. Talitha Kumi. Your seed is rising up. Hallelujah.